Hey, what's up everyone? In today's video, I'm going to be going over an updated version of the Fury Druid. I know I did a Fury Druid build when I first started my channel, and I also put out a Uber Tristram Fury Druid build. I will link that one at the end of this video and in the description below. But I just want to go over a few item updates on the Fury Druid build since I put out my guide. Since I've put it out, they've added metamorphosis, which I used for the Uber build, and then they added the sunder charms. This build that I'm showing, it's predominantly PVM. You could use it PvP, but if you're going in melee leagues or something like that, just be cautious of the rules that they have. With that being said, let's dive right into our gear setup. For our weapons, for one-handed weapon, there's no better weapon than Grief for PVM. It's just unreal. So that's my main go-to. A backup that I would do would be an BOTD Berserker Axe. I love that item ever since I was a young teenager playing this game. That was probably my favorite item until Grief came out. So Grief is my weapon of choice. And then the counterpart for Grief, I would always go with Phoenix Shield. You get redemption, just enhanced damage. It's an overall very, very powerful shield. But if you want blocking, because with the build we have here with Phoenix on, we don't have max blocking, but 47%, you're just going to mow everything down anyways. So with that, if you want max blocking, get a Storm Shield, and now you have 75% blocking. This is more for hardcore players if you would like just the extra survivability, but I don't have a problem with this at all. So for weapon and shield, Grief and Phoenix. For our armor, we're always gonna go with Fortitude. It just gives extra damage, defense, resistance, and then when chilling armor gets activated, it gives an extra barrier of defense. I would love to wear Enigma with a shape-shifting druid. I've been saying this forever that they need to implement teleporting with shape-shifting. I think that'd be wild just to watch a werebear just flying across the screen, especially if you put faster cast rate on it. But we could only hope for such things. So until they implement Enigma on a shape-shifting druid, we're gonna go with Fortitude. If for some reason your resistances are lacking, like you can't get a high resistance Torch or Annie, or just for some reason, you can always substitute for a Chains of Honor. I know that's still a little bit pricey, but it's another viable option. Plus, it gives +2 to skills. So this is my armor of choice, Fortitude. For my boots, I always go with Gore Riders when I'm doing a melee character. They give Crushing Blow, Deadly Strike, Open Wounds. Crushing Blow is really good for hitting monsters really hard. If you need a cheaper version of Gore Riders, you could always go with Goblin Toe. Those are a nice alternative. For gloves, I like going with Drackel's Grasp. Especially when you get to cast the Life Tap, it's almost like its own version of Leech Life. It just heals you really quick. But with wearing Phoenix Shield and Redemption, it's just an extra barrier of making sure that your life is always up. And it gives some open wounds and some life leech as well. For my belt, I always go with Vertigo's. I've always loved this belt. It helps you hit that faster hit recovery mark, gives some life and some damage reduction. If you want an alternative belt for this, String of Ears is a cheaper and a very nice option as well. For my rings and amulet, I always like the High Lord's amulet with the double Raven combo. I've always used this. But with the new Metamorphosis helmet having Cannot Be Frozen, you could always swap Ravenfrost out for whatever you need. So if you're lacking in, like, let's say lightning resistance and souls are just messing you up and you don't have High Lords, you could always put on a Wisp or just anything like that. You could leave High Lords on with a Raven and a BK ring. It's just whatever your personal preference is. I've always liked this High Lords and double Raven combo. For amulet, you could also swap it out for an Atma's if you want to cast amplify damage while you're hitting. That's always another good option as well. For my helmet, I wear the runeword Metamorphosis. Now with this, you could go into Werewolf and strike a monster to get the Grant mark for the Werewolf casted, and then you could shift to Werebear and go hit some monsters to get the mark of the Werebear casted. And once you do that, it'll show a couple symbols to show that you have that on you, like right under your character. It's like a little red swirly thing. You could swap that out for a Guillaume's helmet if you would like and hit extra hard. But just be cautious that after 180 seconds, those bonuses will wear off. So I just kind of wear it for now. It doesn't really make a difference. I still mow everything down. So the helmet that I choose to wear is Metamorphosis. For my charms, for example purposes, I just kind of went crazy and all out on them. I have 8 shape-shifting lifers with 45 life on them. That's the max you can get. Obviously, if you can't afford those, try to get as much life as you can on these. And then I went with a perfect physical sunder. You really don't notice the difference with monsters hitting you harder because, like I said, you just pretty much just mow everything down. For my torch, I got a perfect Druid torch and then a perfect Annie. And for the small charms, I have what we call 3 20/20s, 3 max damage, 20 attack rating, 20 life. I got 10 of those. But what you can do is get 20 lifers, get some with max damage and attack rating, split it up however you can. This is just the optimal version of charms that you could get for this build. For my mercenary, I gave him an S fort. That's a pretty popular option for them, just to give him some more defense. I put a pride cryptic axe on him to give concentration aura, which gives me more damage, and then a vampire gaze to give him some leech life, so hopefully Durga here doesn't die. And I got him as an Act 2 Might Mercenary, which also gives me some more damage. You could choose whatever mercenary you want, but I am choosing this combo. It works pretty good for me. For my skills, it's the pretty basic Fury Druid skills. I max Werewolf, Lycanthropy, and then Fury. Fury is your main attack. I put 1 point into the prerequisites, and I put Feral Rage down here at the bottom so I could smack some monsters and start running really fast. I put 1 point into Werebear here just so I could get the Metamorphosis bonuses if I choose to activate them. For summoning, when you hit 99, you could max both spirits out technically. So you just choose if you want life or if you want attack power. So if you want attack, do Heart of Wolverine. If you want more life, do Oak Sage. Or you can max them both so you could alternate them, whatever you want. If you choose to max one of these, then max out Grizzly. Everybody loves a meat shield, so that's why I always put at least 1 point into Grizzly and then all the prerequisites. That's pretty much it for skills. Again, just a pretty basic Fury Druid setup for skills. For my stats here, as you can see, my resistances aren't very good, but I don't have a problem with them. If you are lacking, again, just swap out items however you need necessary. But for strength, I just do enough to wear my gear, so I put enough so I could possibly wear steel rends. It's all up to you. So I put about 125 base points in there. I like doing a balanced Fury Druid build. I don't like going pure vitality. I like having a little bit of power with a little bit of more attack rating and max blocking because I don't really use two-handed weapons, but if I do, I'll make another video on that. For dexterity, I put about 160 points in there. With the double ravens on, it's enough to have max blocking with Storm Shield on. And with Phoenix, I got close to 50%, which I think is pretty decent for wearing just a plain Monarch. And then I put all the rest of my points into Vitality. So that's it for stats. Again, if you need more resistances, you could throw a Storm Shield on. That'll add a little bit more. You could put an Rune in it, and that will give you pretty decent. And if you're really slacking with your fire resistances for some reason, and fires are just eating you up, for your mercenary, just swap out his vampire gaze here for an old flickering flame. That'll give you the resist fire aura, and you pretty much almost just absorb all the fire hit. And this is my updated version of my PVM Fury Druid. I hope you guys liked the video. I hope you found some information in there. If you have any comments, suggestions, please comment below. I would love to read them and give feedback. I'm going to end this clip with me clearing the Chaos Sanctuary. Again, if you could please like this video and subscribe to help me grow, I would greatly appreciate it.